Hello, everybody. I am Sandra Oberoi, and I am the chair at the chair of advocacy at the International Society for Music Education. And it is my joy and delight and such a pleasure to be here with you all today. I know there are several people joining from different parts of the world. We had about 50 plus sign up for this meeting, this first informal meeting about our big advocacy awards, and we're really excited. Please, everyone, it's a request that you turn off your microphones so we just have the speakers able to talk. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to see you all. How lovely, lovely faces. I'm joined here today by our ISME president, Dr. Bo Ah Leung, who's joining us from Hong Kong. And in just a couple of moments, he will share with us his vision and the idea about these very, very special and interesting awards. I'm also joined by my colleague, Dr. Adam Svitala from the University of Iceland, and he's here today to also assist in expanding on the vision for these awards. Feel free to pop in your questions. Actually, I think a nice thing would be to, in the chat, let us know where you're from, where you're joining us from, and maybe you can say your highs and all of that on the chat, and we'll keep going. And if you have any questions, put it in the chat because we do have time right at the end of our meeting to talk about any questions you have, anything at all. And please, we're trying to make this meeting as idiot proof as possible, if I can say that. So any question is welcome, whatever you want. And it could be that we've covered it, but feel free to ask us about it. So the International Society for Music Education, very quickly, ISME, if you aren't aware about it, is the world's premier organization for music education. We're getting into our 70th year next year. So we're quite an old organization that's been doing a lot of fantastic work related to music education around the world. I believe it's about 90 plus countries that we are present in. And ISME as an organization has different commissions and committees as well as special interest groups. There are some standing committees, which means that we are existent and won't change. And the advocacy committee happens to be the advocacy standing committee, happens to be one such committee. Today, I have, like I said, my colleagues joining us who will talk about this a little more. So, Adam, could we move to the next slide? Thank you. Our advocacy or our biennium theme for this year is advocacy for sustainability in music education. And this is a great point to invite Boa to talk a little more, our president, to talk a little more about this and his vision.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. And it's so nice to see you all. Welcome to this cafe. I treasure this is a very good opportunity for us to see each other and to talk about the issue of these advocacy awards. Now, first of all, I would like to let you know that perhaps you know that if you are a member of ISME. We are having our 6-year plan. And several years ago, our previous president, Professor Susie O'Neill, had initiated to survey our members to see what they need, and so that the management of the ISME can further help the members to develop themselves. So after that survey, we have come up with several. First of all, is 3 core values, and actually here you can see that the networking, internationalization, and advocacy are the 3 core values of ISME. So we should do these things, okay? And these are the 3 very basic, and we will do it forever, I think. Networking, so we connect each other in the world, okay? And we make everything internationalized. And also advocacy, That means how to advocate music and music education in every part of the world, in every aspect of the society, etc. So these are the three core values. And actually, apart from these three core values, we have different guiding principles. Now, I'm not going to elaborate on the guiding principles, but there are also 8 key priorities. That means the members would like to see the future development of ISME. And I can tell you one of the key priorities, again, is advocacy. It can reflect that actually we are music educators are facing a very difficult situation in every aspect of music education. We may confront with the society that when we believe that music and music education is very important, very useful, and good for our well-being, etc. But there are still many other people. They are non-musicians, they are non-music educators, there are different other people. They do not believe that music is important. They don't value music and music education at all. Even some of the educators in schools, for example, the school principals, for example, or school administrators, they may just focus on those so-called important academic subjects like languages, math, science, etc., or STEM recently. This is a common word, right? So, and in my biennium, I would like to focus on promoting advocacy. That means how we do something to promote music and music education in the society. Right. Now, in every aspect of the society, it includes in schools, in community, in policy making, every aspect. Okay, so how we can make everybody, every non-music educators, non-music stakeholders, to believe or to be persuaded that music is important. Now, so this is the idea, so that we can achieve our ultimate goal of sustainability in music education. Especially in recent years, we are facing a very difficult situation in the world. We are having some confrontation in some part of the world. We are facing economic difficulties, inflation, many different difficult problems. So I think it is time for us to really use our creativity to generate some strategies or some plans to tell other people, okay, tell ourselves, our music educators, that what should we do, or what could we do to promote music education. Now, this is the basic idea, okay? So so in these 2 years, I mean, from 2022 to 24, in my biennium, I would try to focus on promoting music education. So advocacy is the word, okay? So I found one Parsons Music from Hong Kong to sponsor this. So I hope participants would try to think about some idea. I would raise one point is that in the previous experience, we have tried many times to we as music educators to talk to other people. We use research, for example, okay, to tell other people that music is so important, music education is so important. But there's a side effect or something. Those non-musicians, they would always think that you are musicians, you are music educators, you are promoting music education, which is very normal, but of course you have bias because you are music educators. Of course you believe that music is important, but so I would say that we need someone outside music and music education to promote for us. So this might be one important strategy for us to think of. Of course, I'm sure there are many other strategies that you may think of. So I need your creativity. I need your wisdom. So please try to generate some ideas so that we can do some different things. Okay, I better stop here. I would like to listen to more questions. Okay, so Sandra.
Thank you, Bova. Adam, would you like to take on the next, move to the next one?
Yes, thank you so much, Boa, and thank you, Sandra. So if you go to the ISME website, you can read the guidelines for the applications for the Parsons Music Advocacy Awards, but I just wanted to draw your attention to a few very important ingredients of the award. I think that the statement that Boa made is very clear, so you should have an idea of what the awards are all about. And the concept of this award is to merge what would be the idea of an award and the grant, but there is a very important difference that I think you should it should be clear to all applicants, that because this is an award, the budget of your applications doesn't really have to match the amount of the award, but what is far more important is, as is specified in the guidelines, is that the budget needs are credible with regard to the needs of the local community that you are designing those projects for. And if you look at the fundamentals of each proposal and what they should present, so the first thing is that the initiative has to be economically viable and sustainable, and the delivery and resourcing should be financially matched to the community it is designed to serve. So this is the main principle. And then also what Boa has emphasized so much, the sustainability, so that the projects that you design are meant to be repeatable, that they are meant something that is here to stay. The awards can provide funding for both individuals and teams, and we will talk a little bit more about that later. And of course, they cover music education practices and advocacy activities, and the emphasis is on bringing on the advocacy work, so bringing our experience and ideas in the field of music education to a broader audience and to connect with the community. Sandra, would you like to take on from here?
Please. So, what are these awards? In case you don't know already, it's something really exciting, because what a person or a successful candidate stands to win is $5,000 plus an instrument of your choice. Now, when we say an instrument of your choice, it is from a specific list of instruments that Parsons Group in Hong Kong will publish. Yes, so potentially if you're asking me, oh, I win $5,000 and can I get a piano? Probably, potentially, if that's there in the list, you will stand to win a piano for your and especially now, here's the difference though. If you're a teacher who's perhaps teaching trombone,
Sandra, you are frozen on our screens now. I hope she will be back very soon.
Sandra? Oh.
So I will just maybe continue where where we lost Sandra, and I hope she will be back. So there will be a list of instruments provided by Parsons. So the instrument of your choice means that you will be able to select an instrument from the provided list. I think Sandra is.
Am I? Oh dear me.
Yes, you are back. Okay. So
back.
I just finished explaining the list of instruments, and I think you can go on from here.
Perfect. I'm so
Great to
sorry.
have you
I have
back.
no idea what happened. Continuing on, so you mentioned the instruments. Now, when we say project duration 12 months from acceptance to completion, well, it could vary in a sense, because the deadline, that is when we are receiving the applications in, is in March, the 31st of March. But So in essence, you have from that time onwards right up until June 1st. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. June 1st, 2024 to finish the project. And this is important because you will actually be invited to present your project at the ISME World Conference in Helsinki. So the applications will close on the 31st of March. The results will be announced in May. We've said 31st of May, but you can see the results up on the website as well as through newsletters and through regional conferences. Again, it will be announced, and I'll talk about that in just a moment when we come to that slide, why the regional conferences are important in this. So I hope this is clear. You win these awards. 2 people from each of ISME's 5 regions will stand to win this award. When I say 2 people, that means in each of the 5 regions, it's 10 people in total in a given calendar year that will win this award. And again, this is repeated hopefully the following year. So 10 people in this 22-24 biennium will win 5,000 USD each and a musical instrument. And then you will have a chance to show us what your projects are at the ISME World Conference. So let's move on to the next one. Adam, yes, you can talk about this. I think
Yes.
you have covered some part of it.
Yeah, so this is maybe what is important here. We've already talked about it, and I think that Boa also highlighted this already in a very clear way. But what the award is really all about is that it has to be really sensitive towards the needs of the community, and it has to match the needs of the community, and sustainability and growth is the main focus. And it should also be environmentally and culturally sensitive. And then with regard to the relevance, which will be also very important for the assessment of the applications, as stated in the guidelines, an initiative that provides equitable and culturally appropriate learning as participatory opportunities that are relevant to the particular circumstances and the audience or local communities it seeks to serve. So this should be the main focus of all the applications. And I'll move on to the next slide.
So again, picking up from what I shared with you all a few moments back, we opened applications. It's been open since the 1st of November. And again, it closes in the 31st of March. Results will be announced in May. Now, when we say results are announced in May, you will see successful applications, as soon as we let people know, they will have an opportunity to present or make or show their proposals at each of the 5 ISME regional conferences. So ISME has 5 different regions, and throughout the year 2023, we have conferences scheduled in each of these 5 regions. So the people who win from each of these regions will have an opportunity to present their proposals at each of these regional conferences. Once the proposals are presented, they will continue to work on them, and then you have until the first interim report of how it's going, what you're doing. We will need it in December, 1st of December, it will be due, and somebody will stay in touch with you throughout. So anytime you need ideas, you need help with expanding on what you're thinking about, you need guidance, people from the advocacy committee will remain in touch with you once your application is successful. Then you will have until the 1st of June with 1st of June 2024 to complete the project. Now, I see a question that's popped in. Will there be financial support in allowing attendance to regional conferences? You could use potentially your prize money to come there. The actual conference itself will be a space where you propose your project, where you tell us what you've done. At different points, you will receive funding from the $5,000. So 50% of it will come to you once the initial report is sent to us, is sent to the advocacy committee. So I hope that answers your question. So it might mean that you want to use some of your prize money towards actually attending the conference and being a part of it and sharing what you've done. Yes, I think that should be clear now. We can move to the next slide.
Okay, so a few important notes with regard to the eligibility. So applicants can be individuals or groups, and the main applicant has to be an ISME member. But of course, if you have more partners, if you want to work with teachers, with institutions, organizations, schools, in your local community, they don't all have to become ISME members. So this is really important, that the main applicant has to be an ISME member. And also the membership fees, as you probably know, and you can also check this on the ISME website, depend on the region and the country you are from. So this is designed to make it more fair and more accessible to the participants. And also, although the application has to be written in English, this is the main language of the applications, but the content can be in the local language of the community, or whichever language or languages are relevant. So this is also designed so to make it easier, and also so it makes more sense while you work on the application. So you don't have to translate all the content to English. It's just the main text of the application that has to be in English, but all the content with regard to teaching or exactly can be in all the languages that will be used in the project. So you can already produce some materials for your project while working on this application. And I'll move on to the final slide, I think.
Yes, and so I think, the big question is, what does a successful application look like? It's really simple to remember. PAR. It has to be practical, it has to be accessible, and your project that that you're proposing needs to be repeatable. What you're doing should be something, or a successful application would be something or someone or a project that can be repeated over time, and not just simply done only for the need of winning an award. I'm not going to share examples per se, but what we're really looking for is practical approaches, is things that make it more you're thinking about inclusion, you're thinking about diversity, you're thinking about going out there and involving really teachers sometimes who are part of the fabric in schools, who are forgotten in some cases, who are doing a lot of good work but perhaps sometimes don't have the support to do what they're doing, or to realize what they're proposing. So the idea is to really allow you to be as creative with what you're proposing, but make it in such a way that it's accessible and inclusive, and involves and gives everyone a chance. And so in that sense, we're not looking specifically for academic sort of proposals. So try and avoid those kind of proposals, sending in things like that. I mean, it may be really good, and if it meets all the criteria, you could win it. But we're really really looking for these three areas and the impact factor. How is it impacting the community? That is again really, really important. So I hope this has been clear. You can find more details on the website. I think somebody, was it Joy, who shared the link. Thank you for that, Joy. That is the link to go and find more information, detailed information, and you can always write to ISME to check if we won't be able to offer support to anybody before you actually win, or before you're chosen. But this is as I mean, this sessions like this will be we'll do one more probably to help expand on any ideas or questions you may have. So we're opening the floor now to questions. I hope this has been clear. Feel free to ask us what you want to know. It's in moments like these. Oh, we do have a question. I was just going to say, it's in moments like these, I'd like to think that we were really clear, or we really confused the life out of everybody. Morel, please feel free to speak.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity. I read in one of the slides that the proposal need to be economically viable and sustainable. What it mean economically viable?
Boa, would you like to answer that?
Okay, now it can be understood in different ways. Now, for example, whether this project or this plan could be repeated in other countries, and it needs not too much money so that it can be sustainable, it can be repeated by other countries, participants. Okay, so, if you need a lot of money to do something, then of course it may create an impact, but this
Okay.
is one more point, okay.
So something something not very expensive to realize.
Preferably, yes.
Okay, thank you, thank you, Sandra.
Other questions?
Wow. Okay. So everybody here is applying then for the award.
There's
No
a
other-
question from the chat.
I didn't quite
room.
catch the bit about the academic style of writing. Did I have a question about that? I'm not a doctor. Okay, so what we mean by that, Sri Lakshmi, is that we're not looking for an academic sort of a proposal, in the sense that if your project is serving a specific population, let's put it that way, we want the project to serve the community at large, but not be specifically directed to just the academics, so to speak, because there is a lot of stuff already, the journals, everything is there. But sometimes it could be, okay, let me give you a simple example. It could be even taking academic material and synthesizing the information, or elucidating the information, or simplifying that information for the masses. As simple as that, you see? And that requires creativity. That requires some form of thought. That requires some form of careful delivery, so that you don't lose the essence of what the academic side of it, what it states. You don't lose that just to make it relevant to everybody else. So I hope that explains it clearly. We're looking for projects. We're really looking for projects to help, especially people who don't get funding, who have great ideas, but who do they write to get funding for their great ideas? Who is rewarding them for thinking up these great ideas? So that's the idea behind avoiding the academic jargon, so to speak. I don't know which order the hands went up, but
Yanis was
Yanis,
first, I think.
okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I'm sorry my camera is not working, but I had a question. I have a question in regards to the application. I don't think I saw anything in the guidelines as far as submitting any sort of budget for this project. For example, if our project is that we started or we anticipate starting, let's say, cost 15,000, or if it costs 2,000, this is irrelevant for the application. I mean, do we have to submit information how much we think it will cost in order to ask for the support of the advocacy grant? Thank you.
Let me answer this question, okay? Now, actually, you can find the application form on the website, okay? Now, in that, you may provide a budget for your project, okay? But this is not a must. First of all, this is not a must. You can do it if you can provide a very reasonable budget, which is fine. Because now, remember, if you are selected as the winner, okay, then you will have to really implement the project. You have to be feasible, that within a kind of budget. And don't forget, you have quite a limited of amount of money. Actually, it's from your price. Okay, that 5,000. Okay, so we always think that try not to spend too much money, but an idea. Okay, actually we value the ideas. Okay, so if you have a budget, and this is good because you have to consider how much money you need to use when you do the project. Okay, I hope I have answered the question.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just turn on your microphone and ask the question. Sri Lakshmi, is that your hand still up?
Yes, but I think
Okay, I think the gentleman. Yes.
Yeah, but she can go, you know, she's
No,
a
go
lady.
ahead. Oh, my, such a gentleman. So sweet.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Speaking from Mozambique. I just wonder if my project, for example, I'm not going to be teaching myself. I'm looking because I have a project which I had to quit because I did not have how to, to pay people to continue when I started my PhD. So if my project will have someone else working within the communities and they just need money to support those people, is it acceptable?
Absolutely. It is. If it matches all the criteria that we've asked for, it's up to you how you, whatever prize money you win, like Boa pointed out, whatever you win, you can do what you want with that. But definitely remember, he said this, ISME will require a report of this and a documentation, which will then be presented at the ISME World Conference. And this will piggyback off of your question, Leon, where you asked if, flight tickets might be sort of paid for. It depends. We might just, at the World Conference, we might be able to just do with a video of the whole project and we share that if people don't want to actually come. But it's great to come there and receive the award and be a part of that experience if the person was not actually thinking of coming, that is. So does that answer your question then? I hope so. So feel free to apply.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Go ahead, Sri Lakshmi.
Yeah. Hi. It's a two-part question, actually, two different questions. The first one is, again, piggybacking off my previous question about the writing, whether it's the proposal or the interim report or the final report. You said that it doesn't have to be too, in too much of an academic language. But my question is that this report, we are submitting it to the ISME Advocacy Committee, or is it going to be kind of published somewhere, or is it going to be in conference proceedings, or where is this report going to go, the final one?
So Sri Lakshmi, Boa, do you want to take that on?
Now, first of all, I think the reports we will keep as record at the
Right.
ISME office. Okay, so we value the presentation held in the World Conference. So this is the formal way to present your projects for the winners project. Okay, so maybe we will put it on our website, but it's not yet decided. Okay,
Right.
but at least our first job is to try to collect all those projects and make the judgment and then find out the winners and presentation, etc. So a bit too early to say that how we do it. Okay, maybe just put it on our archive and our website. Okay.
Right. I understand. Thank you.
And
And
I'm
for my
going-
second,
Yes, go ahead.
sorry, Sandra.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the second question is a bit again piggybacking off Joaquim's question about the funding. So you said that we have to document our funding. So how much goes where, to whom, to what? Suppose we are buying supplies or something like that. Is that did I understand that correctly? So what the breakup of how we are spending that?
Yes, you
Or-
have, it's up to you to send us a detailed overview of what you're doing. Definitely it'll help to enhance the understanding of your project and what you're doing. But ISME does not have that as a mandatory requirement that you have to send every single vendor. We don't have that, because remember, that's what I'm saying. This is different from a grant. For a grant,
Right.
would have to do that, but this is an award, and it might just be an idea that something as simple as, just for the sake of argument, you writing a book which is maybe making a really important topic into a comic for children at schools. Do you understand? I'm giving you ideas here. I mean, it's literally anything, and it may not cost very much to get that book published to be given to children in schools. So with that, I'm going to move into another question that's come in, that Bridget has asked us, whether this is specific to any age, specific age groups. No, it isn't, but because it could be, it could even help. There's one of the criteria that we've mentioned, that it could even help those who are looking at studying music further. This award could go towards that as well, depending on how it's pitched. Having said that, yes, there will be an emphasis given to people who can show us that these projects are serving the community. That's why we're looking at impact and the accessibility and inclusivity in that sense. So we're looking for projects that will definitely help serve schools and communities. So no specific age limit of who is finally enjoying the fruit of your music education effort.
I would like to answer another question from Sumi Kwan. Do you have any template, etc.? Now, actually, there is the application form is a template. You have to fill in 3 major areas. Actually, these are the 3 major criteria for assessment. Okay, and actually, it's more or less similar to Sandra's words, but different wording. Okay, the first one is so-called relevance. Okay, so for example, what are your target audience? How does your proposal respond to the specific music education needs of your target audience? Now, there's a key word, a need for music. So who need music? Think about this. Who needs? Those, for example, special education needs, SEN people, or special students, or elderly people, why they need, okay, how they need music, okay, etc. So relevance. The second is feasibility, okay. So how feasible your project will be, okay, and how can you sustain, okay. And third, impact. Again, we have mentioned that. So how much it can change the society to make a difference. Now, this is the main ideas, okay. So I think I've answered these questions.
Yeah,
and
I
there
think
are,
Adam, tell us more. No, I was asking if Adam had anything to add to that.
I maybe would just like to emphasize one more time that this formula, that this is an award, is actually a great opportunity, because very often when I mean, it might be different in different countries, but I think it is a common complaint and a common issue that when we design projects in education and we really know the community, we have an idea of how to design the project, but then we have to provide a budget that is very detailed, and it's a too stiff frame for the work that we want to do, and this actually goes against our philosophy. And I think that this allows for much more freedom. So the emphasis is on that it has to be credible when we look at it in terms of how it works for the community and the three criteria that BOA emphasized. But the budget doesn't have to be that detailed, because this is an award. You don't have to match the exact amount in your application. And I think that this is a great opportunity.
I hope it's been clear, everyone. And we just want to thank you for joining us this afternoon, this morning, this evening, tonight, wherever you're tuning in from. And we hope it's been clear and we've answered some questions. We will continue to stay in touch with you through our Facebook pages. Follow us, our advocacy page as well, on the ISME advocacy page on Facebook, and on all our social media platforms. You will find us and you will find information about this popping up periodically. So thank you for giving us your time and your attention, and we hope to see some really great projects coming our way. Thank you very much.